my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy, sometimes Mouse, and I talk about books and book related things, and today I am giving you my May TBR. This TBR was planned mostly so that I could more accurately plan how I plan and track my reads video. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to write down that process because I have done it on autopilot so many times that I couldn't remember what the process actually was. So here we are. We're only halfway through April, but I'm going to go ahead and set this up because May is my birth month, and I know that it is always a little bit of a crazy month, especially prepping for Clear Your Shit 5.5. So let's, which is in June. It's not in May. Nobody stress. Nobody stress. Okay. All right. If you're new here, hi. I split up my TBRs into categories. So I've got the series that I'm going to continue reading. I've got categories of other things, like if I'm reading something for a YouTube video specifically, this one doesn't come up very often, or if I've just everything else, then everything else after that. And also, if you are new here, I try to make it a habit to read at least one genre of every single, or one book of every single genre every month, and I also try to read a classic every other month, so I will be addressing the classic this month as well. So let's go ahead and talk about what books I'm going to be reading. For the series continuations, I will be continuing with the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett. I'll be reading the 9th book. There are 41 books, I think, so I'm nowhere near done. It's fine. I enjoy them, so it's cool. The book I will be reading is Eric. Eric is the Discworld's only demonology hacker. He's just not very good at it. He wants his 3 wishes granted, nothing fancy. He just wants to be immortal, rule the world, and have the most beautiful woman in the world fall madly in love with him. Super normal stuff, you know, it is what it is. However, he calls up Rincewind, who is definitely not a demon, and is definitely a wizard with scary luggage. And if you've read the previous books, you know exactly who Rincewind is. With them on his side, Eric is in a ride through space and time that is bound to make him wish quite fervently again, this time, that he's never been born. Then I will be reading the Witch graphic novels, volumes 26 through 29. There are only 31. 32 was never released, and I was able to find all of the rest of them, so up to 31. So I'm glad about that. The rest of them are at the library. That's great for me. If you don't know what Witch is, it is a series of graphic novels that I read as a kid. I definitely didn't read this far as a kid. Definitely not. I probably just read the first 10. And they also had a TV show. So here we are. I have been trying to read these and get them done, and I will be happy if I finish them all by June or by mid-June, because it's time. It's time for me to be done with the series. Next up, I will be rereading and then reading for the first time the next 2 books in the series, and apparently there's 4, which I didn't know until after I had already started planning this TBR. But I will be rereading This Woven Kingdom by Terahei Mafi. This book follows Alize and Cameron. Alize is a disposable servant to all of the world, not the long-lost heir to an ancient Jinn kingdom forced to hide in plain sight. The crown prince, Cameron, has heard the prophecies foretelling the death of his king, but he could have never imagined that the servant girl with the strange eyes, the girl he can't put out of his mind, would one day soon uproot his kingdom and the world. And then I will be reading the next 2 books. Like I said, I don't know if the 4th book will even be out by the time that I start reading this, so I probably will not be reading the 4th book, but I will be rereading the 1st book and then reading the next 2 so that I can say, cool, I did it, right? So that's my series continuations. Next up, we have a childhood reread. Now, I'm trying to decide, and you guys can probably help with this, because by the time this video comes out, I will either still be filming this or planning this. So maybe you guys can help and let me know what you would prefer. I'm going to be rereading a trilogy from my childhood that I really, really enjoyed, called The Barcode Tattoo. What's really funny is I was like, yeah, I used to read these books. It was about these kids that had like a barcode tattoo or something, and it was like a YA dystopian, and someone was like, the barcode tattoo? And I was like, no, yeah, like they had it, and they're like, no, it's called the barcode tattoo. So with this that I need feedback on, I am either going to do the thing that I've done in previous videos where I film kind of the entire time that I read it, and I just give you updates as I'm reading along and give you my thoughts, and then I do like a summary at the end. Or if I can rope him into it, so there's a chance I cannot, I will do that And then instead of a wrap up at the end, I will explain the books to my husband and get his reactions. I don't promise that I can rope him into it, but let me know if you would be interested in that. I do have a plan to rope him into another video at a later date, but it's for different content. This different content, that sounds like I'm making something crazy. It's for a different book related thing. But The Barcode Tattoo by Suzanne Wayne is a trilogy, and it is about this tattoo. Everybody's getting it. It'll make your life easier. It will hook you in. It'll become your identity. But what if you say no? For Kayla, this one choice changes everything. She becomes an outcast in her high school. Dangerous things happen to her family. There's no option but to run for her life. Individuality versus conformity. Identity versus access. Freedom versus control. I deeply fear that this might have religious undertones. And I don't remember because I read them such a long time ago. At least over 10 years ago. I do not know. So that'll be fun to find out if there are religious undertones to this or not. There are so many like young adult books that I've gone back and read and realized that there were tons of religious undertones, and some of them were not subtle, like at all. The Crank series, for example, or not the Crank series, but the Ellen Hopkins books, for example, it wasn't subtle. It was blatantly there. It just didn't register to me, right? Whatever. For the other category, everything else I will be reading this month, we've got quite a few books because I am trying to prep for Clear Your Shit stuff, Clear Your Shit shenanigans. So I'm trying to clear out a few ebooks that I've had sitting around for a while. I'm trying to clear them out. We've got You Know I'm No Good by Jessie Ann Foley. This is a contemporary book about Mia, who is a troubled teen. She doesn't realize how out of control her parents think that she is until they send her away to a therapeutic boarding school in rural Minnesota. She has to confront her painful past, question the purpose of Red Oak, and after all, if the Red Oak girls were boys, they would have never been treated the way that they are. Amidst all of these revelations that cause her to question the way society treats young women, circumstances outside of her control force her to discover what happens when she makes herself vulnerable enough to be truly seen by the rest of the world. I just know I'm not gonna like this. That's all I have to say about that. Maybe I will, but I have a feeling that I'm not gonna like that book. Next up, we have The St. Ambrose School for Girls by Jessica Ward. Sarah Taylor arrives at the St. Ambrose School. She's carrying more baggage than just what fits in her suitcase. That baggage is a brand new bipolar diagnosis. And also, she's like a goth icon. She's not like other girls, okay? And Greta Stanhope picks that shit up immediately because she's a bully. She is the head girl and she catches on to that immediately. However, Sarah is trying to make an ally out of her roommate Ellen, who is a devil-may-care athlete who takes no bullshit. Down the hall is Nick Hollis, a handsome RA and the object of more than one St. Ambrose student's fantasies. Sarah hopes she can make it through the semester, dealing not only with her schoolwork and the bipolar diagnosis, but also with Greta's increasingly malicious pranks. However, a scandal unfolds and someone ends up dead. Her whole world threatens to unravel in ways she could have never imagined. The school is a dangerous, delicious, twisting coming-of-age tale that will stay with you long after you turn the last page. Usually I remove those lines when I read through these before I say them out loud to you, and I guess I just forgot that one. Next up, we have Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. This one's been highly recommended. I have had it on my list forever. I just haven't gotten around to it. My bad. Misha is a jaded scriptwriter who's been working in Hollywood for years and has just been nominated for his first Oscar. But when he's pressured by his producers to kill off a gay character in the upcoming season finale for the algorithm, Misha discovers that it's not that simple. As he's haunted by his past and past mistakes, Misha must risk everything to find a way to do what's right before it's too late. Next, we have The Witches of El Paso by Luis Jaramillo, 1943. El Paso, if you guys don't know, El Paso is a place in Texas. It is close to the border. I have never been, but my father-in-law is from there, I think. You didn't ask, but now you know. 1943, teenager Nina spends her days caring for small children of her older sisters, longing for a life of freedom and adventure. She has premonitions and fainting spells that she's dealt with since childhood, and they are increasingly getting worse. Nina worries that she's going to end up like the scary old curandera down the street. She prays for help, and when the mysterious Sister Benedicta arrives one night, Nina follows her across the borders of space and time. In colonial Mexico, Nina grows into her power, finding love and learning that magic always comes with a price. However, in the present day, her grand niece, Marta, balances a struggling legal aid practice with motherhood and the care of now 93-year-old Nina. When Marta agrees to help search for a daughter Nina left in the past, the two forge a fierce connection. Marta's own supernatural powers emerge, awakening her to new possibilities that threaten the life she has constructed. Just seems like it could be a sweet, historical-y, fantasy-y story. Sorry, I shook the camera. Next, we have my romance pick, and I think this will surprise people. Because this doesn't seem like my jam. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. It looked interesting, okay? How to Summon a Fairy Godmother by Laura J. Mayo. Is this a part of a series? Yes. Lady Theodosia Balfour has certainly gotten the short end of the stick. She is essentially the stepsister of Cinderella. And Cinderella, Princess Beatrice, is telling everyone in polite society that Theo, her sister, and their mother are evil, wicked, and horrible people that treated her like a slave. And while that's not exactly true, it seems that her life has been thoroughly ruined. So her only path forward is a forced betrothal to the Duke of Snowbell, a foul-tempered geezer who wishes only to use her as a broodmare for spare heirs. Ew. Desperate for help, Theo clings to the only thing that might save her, the rumor of a fairy godmother. She discovers a way to summon her in Beatrice's old room, so she does. She thinks her prayers have been answered. However, she meets Cicely of the Ash Fairies, who is much more interested in gathering powerful favors and smoking her pipe than providing charitable magic for humans in a bind. Before she receives magical assistance, Cicely sets Theo to 3 tasks, seemingly to prove that Theo is a selfless and kind person. Helping her along the way are Cicely's familiars, who are people that are shapeshifty. As Theo works on her tasks, she shockingly finds kinship with the magical creature she's helping and starts to wonder if continued life among her human peers is really what she wants after all. And next up, we have Brindlepunk Bruja by Desideria Misa and the sequel. I will be reading both of those, so I know it's a very long TBR. Don't talk to me. I am aware I have made terrible decisions, especially since people will be coming into town for my 30th birthday this month. It's fine. I have done worse things. Usually in May I end up reading like a copious amount of books, so it'll be fine. It'll be fine. This book I've had this book marked on Libby for years, actually, and I just have not gotten around to it, and so now is the time. Now is the time for me to read it. Luna, or depending on who's asking, Rose, is the white-passing daughter of an immigrant mother who has seen what happens to people from her culture. The world is prejudicial, and she must hide her identity in pursuit of owning an illegal jazz club. Rose negotiates with dangerous criminals as she climbs up Kansas City's bootlegging ladder. Luna, however, runs the risk of losing everything if the crooked city councilman and ruthless mobsters discover her ties to an immigrant boxcar community that secretly houses witches. The last thing she wants is to put her entire family in danger. However, the harder she tries to avoid scrutiny, the more her efforts eventually capture unwanted attention. Soon, she finds herself surrounded by greed and every brand of bigotry. And as much as she hates to admit it, she may need to learn to have faith in others, and learning to trust may prove to be her biggest ambition yet. We'll see how that goes for her. And finally, we have my classic pick for the month, which is going to be The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. I have never read this series, I think. I'm pretty sure I've never read them. If you don't know about Narnia, where you been, bestie? Where you been, loca? Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy it's a war is happening. They gotta go. And so they're staying with this man. They open a doorway, a wardrobe, and enter into a different world. And they meet Aslan, the great lion. Their lives are changed forever. Time moves differently there. Whatever. We'll see. Okay? I don't think I've read these books. And also, this is listed as book 2, and I know it's not. I know it's not book 2. I know you're supposed to read this book first, okay? And if anybody disagrees with me, I didn't make that rule. Somebody else has said it. I've seen it online so many times that I'm afraid that if I tried to read a different first book. So, okay, I'm not going to. I'm going to read this book first, and if anybody gets mad at me for that one, don't. Great, awesome, good talk. That's the classic that I will be reading this month. I've got a couple of classics that I want to read coming up. I think a big one, a big series that I'm going to be rereading for me is going to be The Little House on the Prairie, but that's going to be kind of its own separate video because I own all of them. They're at my parents' house, but I own all of them, which seems crazy. And I think I'm going to borrow those because they're from my childhood, so I think I'm going to borrow them and reread them. But that will be for a later time. I couldn't do that endeavor in May because it will be an endeavor, right? So something to look forward to. And let me know about the childhood reread. The other one, the barcode tattoo. Let me know your thoughts about making my husband hear me try and explain this series of books to him. But that's it. That is all of the books that I will be reading in May. Some I may read. I may finish all of those books and then read more books. But at the moment, that's all the books I have planned to read in May. So let me know in the comments down below if you have read any of these books, if you want to read any of these books, if you have beef with the Narnia thing. Let me know. I'd love to hear it and talk to you about it. And there's like a 50-50 chance that by the time you comment, I will have already started some of these books and be done with them. So, you know, maybe I will have opinions about them. I might not, though. We'll see, right? Who knows what's happening. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. If you did not like this video, let me know in the comments down below how I can make it better for you, unless it is about changing who I am as a person, because I won't do that. Thanks. I'm too old. It's set in stone. This is who I am now. I post videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time every single week, except for the first full week of the month. So I will see you guys on Thursday. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, and do something today to take care of yourselves. Okay, thanks. Bye.